It's a gorgeous book about grief. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this was an interesting one. I thought it was going to be an adventure story that had beautiful illustrations based on the cover and the really quick thumb through I did. And then I found out there's quite a bit more to it, and it is Drawn Onward by Daniel Nayeri and Matt Rockefeller. As the story starts, a boy and his father are sad. His mom has died, she's gone. And he's not sure that they're going to make it without her. And he gets mad at his dad and heads off into the woods with a shield and retrieves a sword that was left in the dirt. And heads off through various things, avoiding a giant eel underwater and some dwarves in a mine and fairies around a strange outdoor gazebo, till he arrives in a winter realm at a castle with all sorts of scary weeds around a statue of a woman. And he finally gets to ask the question that's at the heart of him. Mom, were you glad you were mom? And the light shines and he gets comfort. And he starts working his way back home, helping some of the others along the way. Bringing water up from the well for the fairies at that gazebo. Pulling the discarded weapons that were stuck in the giant eel. Rescuing one of the dwarves in the mines, making his way through the spiders, and returning home and concluding that he no longer believed that she was gone. So this was really great for a number of reasons. First off, there are tons of kids' books about grief, and they work to greater or lesser amounts. But this is one of the ones that gets to the feelings rather than the specifics. It's not heavy-handed. It's not saying Susie's mom was gone. She'd been there until before and she was gone. And Susie missed her because she was gone. Because there are some books like that. And they may have their place too. This one's a softer spoken one. The story of the boy's grief is wrapped up in the trappings of an adventure. And I think it makes for a really, really effective telling of this. The text is fairly minimal, and so there isn't a lot to read here in large groups. It definitely wouldn't make a great storytime book as a result. But part of that is because the creators wrote it as a giant palindrome. Not letter for letter or even word for word, but phrase for phrase. So when the book starts with, she was gone, and besides that, he no longer believed they would make it. And that it ends with, they would make it, and besides that, he no longer believed she was gone. And when reading it casually, you might not notice it, but I believe the effect of it lingers, that the story retracing his steps and feeling more optimistic, and that it comes across with those words sort of echoing what happened before, as his location in the different settings of the book echoed what happened in the first half of it. It ended up being very effective, even if I wasn't fully aware of the palindrome thing while I was reading it that first time out. I liked one callback, that the sword, it made me think of the Master Sword in The Legend of Zelda, specifically A Link to the Past, and that at the end, when things are fine again, he lays the sword to rest in a sunny glade. And I don't know if the authors intended it for that, but that's what it made me think of. It made me think of the ending for A Link to the Past, where the final wish that Link makes on the Triforce is that the Master Sword sleeps again forever. The idea that it's no longer needed. It's accomplished its goal, and things are going to be okay. And I liked that. The illustrations are flat out beautiful. Now, from the boy leaving his home and the beautiful landscapes around there and the lighting on the sword shining off its point. It's been there a while. It's an older sword with rust and a wooden handle, but the point is still sharp and clean and ready. And the contrast. Again, like this, the story takes place over the course of a day or two. I think just a day. But when he's coming home and the sun's setting and there are just warmer, softer tones. The first pages aren't dark and gloomy or anything, but there's warmth to the latter illustrations. There's a life there where before they were beautiful, but they felt a little lifeless. It's very effective, and it really shows how his mind changes over things. The illustrations with him crying at the statue and having his grief relieved a bit by thinking of his mom and knowing that she loved him and was glad to be his mom. Just super, super effective and wonderful. And yeah, I liked it. I thought it was quite good, and I'm very glad I borrowed it from the library and read it with my kids. So ultimately, it's a really good story about grief. The way it's laid out, though, definitely lends itself better to someone reading it themselves rather than it being read in a storytime setting. When I read it to my daughters, they commented that there weren't a lot of words there and there wasn't much story. They had to sit there and look at the pictures and wait for me to turn the page when I thought they'd had enough time to view them. And so it works a little better as a self-paced book, or maybe when you're sitting close with one child and sharing the book with them, with a son or daughter or grandson or granddaughter or other who needs comfort in their time of grief. If I were to try to pair it with something else, I think I would go with The Hair-Shaped Hole. Unfortunately, the author is escaping me right now, but I will make sure that I have the image of the book here. And it was another fantastic book about grief and grieving and the feelings when that person isn't there anymore and the hole they leave in your life. And I would definitely recommend them as a doubleheader for someone dealing with grief. So I definitely recommend it. Go borrow it from your local library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute to tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your library. We're at a time where some libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me talk about this one. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.